into comparison between subtractive and additive manufacturing. I think this whole slide here is very, very, can I say, self-explanatory. So in subtractive, in the upper side of the whole slide, you will see the subtractive processes. So a block of material is taken, you machine it, with the help of, either drilling machines or CNC milling machines, and your object is formed. There is, a heap of waste which is formed in this, and a lot of energy goes waste, or a lot of energy is, used in this whole subtractive process. At the same time, however, in additive manufacturing processes, you take some amount of material. It can be in the form of liquid resin, it can be in the form of powder or a solid based material. Use only as much as required, or a little bit more than as required, to print something in a 3D printing machine. You have the object at the end of the day, and you have the waste, which is much lesser than the subtractive manufacturing process. And well, again, this can be a disputable fact, but I think as a thumb rule, 3D printers would typically use less amount of energy to make the same object if it is made in a subtractive manufacturing process. Again, it is a disputable, और we can, हम लोग इसके बारे में debate कर सकते हैं कि energy subtractive में भी कम use हो सकता है, but ये case by case basis है. There might be, personally, I think that as a thumb rule, additive manufacturing more often than not, mostly uses lesser energy than subtractive manufacturing. Some people also say, I have heard some people saying that additive manufacturing is a zero waste process. No, it is not. It is a low waste process. There is still some amount of waste in the form of wasted powder, or supports which are printed in SLA, or supports which are printed in FDM machines, which get lost, which we cannot recover. So there is still some amount of waste, but when the same part, if it is made in subtractive manufacturing process, you will see much more amount of waste than additive manufacturing. So energy, of course, as I will say, that it needs to be taken with a pinch of salt. It is debatable, and it is on a case by case basis. Yeah. So where additive manufacturing is typically used is, of course, when you have to print complex parts, when you completely need to eliminate, tooling. So you can see these designs in the complex parts. This is something which probably cannot be, machined. Machining is not possible. Isko machine karna possible nahi hai. The only way to produce this is with the help of 3D printers. So these are the shapes which we have. I think in jewelry, day in and day out, we get such kinds of designs, which is not possible to be done with the help of, conventional processes. That is why we have to use the 3D printer to make wax models of those and then cast into different metals. So that is where, complex designs can be done. Eliminating tooling. So most of the objects which we use today, plastic objects, they get made with the help of tooling processes. But tooling is only logical when you have to, make thousands and millions of parts. But what if you have to make a few hundred parts? So tooling, even if a simple part is, to be manufactured with the help of injection mold tooling, it may take anywhere between 25 days to 40 days or even 2 months in the form of a complex, if it is a complex part, to make the tooling in the first place. So for example, आपको order आया और आपको injection mold से कोई भी part produce करना है. So it can be, so ऐसा हो सकता है कि शायद you will get the first part in hand after 45 days or even 2 months, depending on how complex the part itself is. But with the help of 3D printing, you can make the same part in similar materials or similar performing materials without the need for tooling, and perhaps in the possibility of a couple of days rather than, a couple of months or a couple of weeks. So that is why fast turnaround times, so fast turnaround time is a subset of, trying to eliminate tooling. So people need their parts very fast. Most of the consumers which we deal with, our sales team deals with, every day they have, they get behind everybody's asses and say that, okay, why this has not happened? And we need to print, or we need our orders to be processed very fast. Bhavya and everybody deals with these consumers on a daily basis. So fast turnaround times is where this comes into, where 3D printing comes into picture, so that we are able to cater to, the client parts and whatever they need with a faster manufacturing processes by using advanced manufacturing like 3D printing. So again, whenever a new product is supposed to hit the market, the prototyping or its testing needs to be very fast. Cannot happen with the help of conventional processes like injection molding or blow molding. So that is why those shampoo manufacturers or soap manufacturers, so on and so, and these people from FMCG manufacturing companies come to us, and we make the prototypes for them so that they can make the decision making faster. The design team at their end can take decisions whether this kind of bottle will work or not, whether we'll be able to fill, let's say, 200 ml of shampoo in this particular bottle. So all this testing and product development gets accelerated at their end. So that is why they use 3D printing, and that is also where fast turnaround time comes into the picture. Mask making casts of hands, making surgical guides, or skull models or implants for every patient. So customization is a very important part of that, and also mass customization. So basically, you can have a basic design. So this Voronoi design, as you must have seen in the some people must have seen those foot braces which we make. So although the sizes are different, but if you see that the basic design is still the same, the Voronoi structure or the locking mechanism or the snap fits, whatever goes into making those medical braces is same for all the braces. Only thing which differs is the profile of the brace according to the foot size of the patient and the size, of course. So that is what we talk about. That is what we mean by mass customization when we use this term. So the basic design remains the same, but you maybe scale up the model, scale down the model according to the size of the consumer who's going to use those parts. Same happens with jewelry also. Basic designs of different rings remains the same, but again, based on the girth of the finger of each and every consumer, we may need to change the diameter of the rings, but the basic design can remain the same. So that is where mass customization, what we talk about mass customization. And of course, there are varied materials also nowadays available with 3D printing. We have different kinds of polymers, different kinds of metals as well, which we can offer. So if you would have asked me 10 years ago whether can you do polypropylene with 3D printing, I would have said probably not. Can you do elastic materials with 3D printing? I would have said probably not. Can you do fully transparent or highly transparent materials with 3D printing? Maybe again the answer would have been a little bit tricky, but that is not the case. So material development with 3D printing has happened very fast, and we have the capability to more or less kind of give any kind of material with the help of 3D printing today. So like one new entrant is, I would like to give an example, is carbon fiber 3D printing. A lot of people even 3 or 4 years previously, people used to ask whether you can do carbon fiber 3D printing, and answer used to be no. It is still not possible to use carbon fiber as the 3D printing material. But I think the answer differs today. After almost 4 or 5 years, we can very frankly say that yes, carbon fiber can be 3D printed, and we offer that. So that is how we have come. The journey has come. New materials are being added every week into the 3D printing portfolio across the world, and this is only going to grow.